Okay, welcome back, everyone. So before we take the break, we talk about the business model for the payments for travelers, they want to settle, and how they gonna do it with flexible payment methods. But for OTAs, there are different business models, not just the commission, but also the markup. So I'm gonna explain what markup is. Markup is actually the profit that the OTA wants to make on top of the rates that the suppliers provides. So we can see examples here. If say I'm a hotel that I provide OTA with one room selling $100, but on the websites or the online OTA is selling $120. So the markup is 100 minus 120 minus 100 divided by the net rate hotels provide to OTAs. That makes 20% margin or the profit. That's the markup. So at the other words, that easier is that this 20% or the $20 is the profit for OTA selling for each room. Imagine if they're selling 10 rooms at once, they can make $200 out of it. So this business model is actually very quick one, or is a very profitable one. Not just the commission itself, but also markup. Depends on how hotels provides your rate strategies to the OTAs. It also applies to airline company as well. So this is the margin they want to do it. Then next, guarantee and deposit. The guarantee or deposit belongs to the suppliers, belongs to the hotels. So this is amount of money that paid by OTAs to suppliers. For example here, if I'm a hotel and I talk to one of the OTAs, they want to do a special promotions with us. So I provide 20 rooms per day to them as a guarantee. That means each day I will reserve 20 rooms to certain OTAs or to certain platform that I want to work with. In each room, I sell them to 200 as a fixed cost. That I don't upgrade the rate or I don't reduce the rate normally. So 20 times 200. That's each day the money I want to receive. And times 1 year to 365 days. So that means this OTA is paying me $1.4 million upfront as a deposit to me, this hotel supplier, upfront, and I gave them this much of room by selling this rate each day. So this is a special promotion or say a deposit or advance payments to me than OTA provide. But they will do special ways to sell them online to make sure these rooms are sold every single day to these 20 rooms. So for me as a supplier or a business entity, I get upfront money. I can use this to pay my employee. I can do for my business daily operations. So I got a huge amount of money I can use to spend. But in exchange that I provide this amount of rooms to the hotels, to the OTAs for them to sell my hotel. So this is the other business model that OTA will use. We can see an example on Agoda. They do this quite often here. Okay, for example, I search for Taipei for the hotels here. as long as you join certain promotions or say online marketing with this OTA, like Agoda here, they will have a indication that to emphasize this is the supplier we want to work with. You can see there's an Agoda preferred signage here. So that means they participate some of the unique or say promoting tools with this OTA. You can see there's another one here. And you will find out their sort orders or their exposures are mostly better or higher than the other hotels. Because why? Because they pay the upfront amount of certain dollars. They have to use that amount, use all the rooms out. Otherwise, they won't be able to make it the money back. So they have to push you all the way to front to make sure you're selling great. So this is one of the marketing or say advertisements that they use to acquire more business for this hotel as an exchange. So here I said OTA sell with special promotions like this. This the other way the OTA make sure they have enough amount of rooms by selling this price together, and they provide this advance payment to you. Last but not least, advertisement and CPC, that means cost per click. And I will have more examples when we go down to the online marketing tools, because this advertisement, not only just by paying the amount money, but also you can do with higher commission, or you can buy the advertisements together with the OTA, but not just the OTA, but also the Metasearch. Okay, so now we go on to Metasearch. What's Metasearch? By definition, Metasearch is a search engine that sends queries to several OTAs or suppliers' websites to aggregate the results into one master list or categorize the results. By this definition, it could sound very complicated, but easier ones to understand that is, as hotels combine or kayak, you can imagine hotels combine is the Google of the hotel, or the kayak is the Google of the flights. So once you go on to hotels combine, then you type it on the hotel combine's website for like Taipei or somewhere, it will generate all the information for this hotel and compare all the price on OTAs. Same as the flight for kayak. Of course, Google are doing it as well, also Trivago or Skyscanner, even TripAdvisor. So let me show you the example of this. Okay, so saying I'm going to New York, NYC, on November for 4 days, and I click search. Now it takes me to all the hotels that on the OTAs that work with OTAs. So I see this row NYC, and on hotels combined, it display all the other OTAs channel, say how much they're selling. Okay, so if I go into deep with this hotels page, you can see all the hotels, whether it's on Agoda, Expedia, Hotels.com, or Priceline. But you see they have different rates range here, so it helps you to combine all the price online. But be careful that this pricing may not be the final price. So you always have to go into the page or Hotels Combined will direct you to the Agoda page to see how much is it. So rather than showing on here may not be the final pricing. So you still have to go into Agoda to see this, how much they're selling. Okay, so saying $80 per night. So 3 nights should be $240. But on Agoda, the 3 nights total price is $282. So like I mentioned, it may not be the final pricing. Hotels Combined, or say these Metasearch, are able to help you to compare all the price together at once. But still, you need to be finalized to check how much they are charging for. But this is an easier way for you to find the hotels that you want, and you can combine, or you can compare all the prices on here at once. So this is how Metasearch works, as well as Kayak for the flight ticket. Okay, here. So I'm using flights from Taipei. For instance, I'm going to Los Angeles. And it also generates all the flight price and time together from all the other airline companies or OTAs. Then you can book through them. So this is also a meta search that you can use to find the flights or the hotels or itineraries or packages you want through them. So we call it meta search. Easier to understand as a Google for the hotels or flights, but of course Google are doing it too. If I go to Google, or I just type raw NYC, you can see they also compare the price right here. So you can also point this, click on this, it directs you to the Expedia.com. But because I'm in Taiwan, so it generates Chinese directly, so I changed to English for easier for you to understand. So like Hotels Combined or Kayak, it serves the same purpose as a meta search for you to compare the price online. Nowadays, more and more people are using Google Hotel Finder, recorded Hotel Finder directly, because once you know which hotel you want to stay, then you can compare the price here. So that's why I'm putting Google here. For Trivago, serve the same purpose as Hotels Combined, but it belongs to a different company. If we go back to the previous page about the OTA's introduction, Hotels Combined and Kayak are under the same group of Booking Holdings, which is Booking.com's part of the Booking.com company. Trivago belongs to Expedia. Skyscanner actually belongs to Chinese company Ctrip, and TripAdvisor and Google are independent ones. So these are the differences between this. But TripAdvisor, rather than just a meta search, they also serve another purpose with reviews. I'm sure a lot of people are using TripAdvisor to find out which cafe to go, which restaurants to go. But with this, It also helps you to find the hotel or use the flight information they can book, but they don't necessarily to work with airline company itself, but they are using the other OTA's information. So TripAdvisor is a little bit different from the other OTAs, but still they serve the same purpose as a meta search. Okay, let me check if I want to go to Singapore. And let's say restaurants. So it will show the review of the restaurants and how people went there and how do they feel and their ratings about it. Yeah. So this is how TripAdvisor works, but they can book hotels and holiday rentals or things to do like Klook. But still, they are doing meta search wise business as well. So these are the meta search that we work together. Okay, before we move on to the business model of meta search, so these are the meta search that we can see from internet mostly with the big company, and they're part of the groups as well. So, but how does meta search profit, or how do they make money from? Because right now we're booked through the OTAs because they direct to OTAs, but you don't book through them like I mentioned. So here's the business model for meta search. Firstly, like I just did, travelers go on to meta search to find the hotels or find the flights they want, and meta search direct to OTAs. So direct to OTAs, like I mentioned, like I showed here, that direct to the Agoda's information. Now, if I book through Agoda, that means Agoda has the commission from the hotel, right? Because Agoda help you to deliver the reservations to the hotel. So hotel has to pay to Agoda, whether it's prepaid model or say the pay on site model. So now Metasearch direct OTA. OTA is doing whether merchant model or agency model, like I mentioned. So they have to pay the money back to the OTAs. That's hotels, how they work with OTAs. But now OTAs will pay to Metasearch. Because why? Because hotels combine, or say the Metasearch kayak are the entry door for this. They charge you for the click view, or say for a processing fee. So for this meta search's business model, they charge from OTAs. But where does this OTA's money coming from? From the hotels. So it's like a process that although the traveler is coming from meta search, but at the end the traveler stay at the hotel pays to the OTA, OTA pays to the meta search. That's one of the first business model they have, and the most companies are doing this, like Kayak, Skyscanner, Trivago, or TripAdvisor. However, there's another business model for hotels combined, especially. They do is they also work with suppliers directly. You will find out they have suppliers websites, like hotel websites, that showing on hotels combined. Let me see if I can find here. Okay, no. Okay, here we have this Benjamin Hotels in New York. It says book with hotel. So I click on book with hotel itself. They will take you to suppliers' websites directly, like this. So you're thinking, okay, now I'm paying to the hotel itself. So if I book anything through here, I pay to hotel directly, or I pay at sites like a regular official website. But This is, we call it pay on site, like we mentioned that. But actually, this website was from Hotels Combined called Revato here. So it appears that you book through hotel, but actually this website was provided from Hotels Combined. So Metasearch direct to suppliers website, but this website is actually coming from Hotels Combined. Although if you're a traveler, you think I'm paying to supply directly, but this website is provided from Hotels Combined. So the supplier at the end of the day still have to submit payment to Metasearch or say pay to Hotels Combined because they are using their website for it. It could be a little bit confusing, but for these two different models, Metasearch to the OTAs, that means Metasearch as an entry door to help OTA to get business. So they pay for their agency fee or pay for their transaction middleman's fee as a payment. But for Metasearch, directly direct to suppliers' websites. As this look like, we call it Revato, actually a product of Hotels Combined. They charge commission as well. So Metasearch had different kind of business model, like we mentioned here. For merchant model OTAs or agency model or flexible models that for OTA, but for Metasearch, they do commissions as if they are OTAs, or they charge processing fee when they are doing Metasearch. So this is another business model that rather from the OTA, but for Metasearch can do. So this is how they make their profit or make their money from. All right, so these are the business model for OTAs and Metasearch. Let's go on break before we go back to the next chapter. Then we talk about how to manage OTAs.